Okay, so this is a 4v4 where poor Truffle gets bullied a bit, partly because he doesn't get maybe as much help from Lav as he should have gotten, and partly because he didn't get any help from me. Um, but we were winning the game overall. The other team had three Protosses and then a Terran, and we knew this on the loading screen, so it wasn't like they were randoms. So I wanted to rush because I lacked confidence that we could win a late game against three Protosses. Especially like I'm sandwiched between Zerg and a Lav, and so my confidence of winning a late game was pretty low. Um, so we'll see what goes on. So we have to watch Lav's build because Lav is the one that's something a sight to behold. So I'm expecting him to go for his standard Terran build, which is
Additional supply
CC
depots
first into cutting
deployed.
SCVs at 38, supply into mass mech Thors. So there it goes. So CC first, um,
Our
and
allies'
then
base is
okay,
under attack.
triple CC. Why not? And a second depot. So I'm okay. Why do we went CC first, second depot, third CC. There is no barracks. Okay, so this is so Lav is going more Lav than normal. This is called going full Lav. Um, this is not like okay. Now the barracks starts. Fine. Um, so we're at 17 out of 38 supply. Not really sure that was necessary. Now we're at 19 out of 61 supply. All right, and and there's no wall. I guess we know there's no Zerg, but like why not just make a wall? I also want to point out Lav has taken my natural. Um, so this has implications for later because if I had a natural somewhere in here, I might have been more inclined to have my army near my natural. But by Lav taking my natural, it forces me to take a third. It basically forces me to steal one of Blodge's bases. So I steal like Blodge's fourth as my third. And then this forces me to really be over on the side of the map. And so I can't be on Truffle's side of the map. So it has, there's some implications for later. I'm not going to watch Lav's build from here because
Our SCVs
we can
command.
already see it in his Gloria. He's on 18 SCVs on three command centers. And it's like, so you might think we're ahead economically, but he's six SCVs behind Truffle. So he's three behind that guy. So I don't know what this build is supposed to do. Um, but you can understand how Truffle's now in an awkward spot. So we won't watch Lav's perspective.
Center upgrade complete.
So I'm going for a proxy. I should point out I did get my gas stolen. This was totally okay with me when I do this build. I actually hope they steal my gas because it's less obvious that I'm rushing. So they might think, well, he didn't take a second gas because I stole it. But in reality, I didn't take a second gas because I wanted to take it later anyway. And this Nexus finishes by the time I want that guy. I'm a bit late populating it, but it's perfect. My first warp in is going to be like six stalkers and then a depth, which is what I want anyway. And so life is good. So uh, not a very good attack by me. I mean, to be fair, I'm going like 1v2 or 1v3. But I created some space here, and now Blodge gets a lot of work done this game. He basically carries us. So and I'm back in. So Blodge is doing his thing. Red Red is now down to 22 probes, so he's just way behind. I think this already happened, but I was hit by Hellions in my natural, so I lost some workers. And so like I just want to point it later on. Truffle's going to be claimed that we weren't doing anything. Obviously, Blodge is doing a lot, right? He's like single-handedly almost um, distracting the other team and really messing them up. Now, this Terran is pushing Truffle, and Truffle's getting no help because Lav has four factories. He's just started his first unit. No, Lav has a unit. So yeah, but at 5:55 in the game or something, at 5:55 in the game, Lav has no units, and he's started one siege tank. Now, he could make units out of these factories, but I don't know if he's APM limited or if he's saving up the 400 minerals for a fifth CC. I don't know what's going on in his head right now, but this is so Truffle's defending by himself, and I didn't show this earlier. He already got hit by like a disruptor warp prism attack. So Truffle's defended. I think purple maybe went for disruptor warp prism attack. It might have been blue. It was probably blue. So blue hit Truffle with a disruptor prism attack already. And he got no help for that, by the way. Not even a little bit. So now teal is showing up with siege tanks and cyclones. So, that's a little bit of a problem for Truffle. Blodge is very much doing work. I am not doing work at this point. I don't even want these here. I am floating a ton of resources. Was I trying to figure out what to do? I did make a carrier. I wanted to take a third. And Blodge blocked me with his creep. So I'm dealing with Blodge's creep right now. Again, this should have been like Blodge's fourth or something. So maybe I should have taken that as my third. But anyway, Lav. Alright. Work is being done. Truffle is really suffering. And now purple comes. So this is the third player to attack Truffle. But they paid a price. I mean, Blodge was everywhere. He's messing up everyone's mineral lines, and this is rough harassment to deal with, especially when you get 0 health. So Lav gets a siege tank, and on this map, I would think you want that like here. I think that's like the way in, right? This is the way into this side of the map. Until those rocks are cleared, there is one way in. It's right here. So you'd think should be a siege tank there, but instead Lav has decided this is his spot. Maybe he's worried about a warp prism warping in stalkers back here. I don't know. In any case, at no point has Truffle received any help this game whatsoever. But it's not like Blodge and I didn't do anything. So now, let's see. I say I'm going carrier. Why am I floating? I almost don't believe I'm floating that many resources. There we go. So triple Stargate carrier was my decision. I probably should just take a fourth right now with the minerals I'm floating. And I never should have left those here, so they're going to die for free. So at this point, I have one stalker to my name, and I don't plan on making anything for a while. I plan to save up for my carriers. And this is going to be a problem for Truffle. But we are way ahead here. Like, Blodge is on 80 workers. Lav actually got up to 66 workers, which is high for him. Why he's not fully saturating his fourth, I do not know. But fine. And I'm doing okay at 54 workers. And so here it goes. Okay, big attack. Now this is not a secret, right? Everybody sees this. I look at this and think, what's my one stalker supposed to do? I'm going to stay here. Blodge, it's completely across the map from him. He's like so far from being here. So I think Blodge is planning a counterattack. And red maybe doesn't come anyway. I can't remember. I feel like this turns into a 3-player attack. But ideally what you want as Truffle is for your ally, LaVoz, to bring a unit. And LaVoz, he's thinking about it. Should we bring a unit? No, I think here it is. This is the 3v1. Right? We got purple zealots, teal's mech, blues, stalkers and zealots. Lav's like, I could go help Truffle, or I could just guard my production and let Truffle die. So that's where we are right now. And this isn't some secret. We 100% see all this happen. Lav is literally, Truffle's literally scanning it. I assume that's Truffle's scan. So this is not a secret. And I'm working on my carriers here, so I have nothing. I have one stalker. And Blodge is working on the rocks. I think he wants to counter, which I don't know whether that was the right play or not. But it's so far, it's hard to fight here. So Truffle's microing like a madman. He just lost his third. His second is under attack. He's doing everything he can 1v3. And Lav, has he moved? I think he moved his army. Lav has done it. Lav is moving out. So here comes Lav's army.
Being attacked.
Um,
Additional supply depots required. Our allies' base is under attack.
poor Truffle. But Truffle's trading really well here. He's making units. He's doing everything he can. And here's Lav's army.
Additional supply depots.
But yeah. So like, how does Lav lose this fight? I'm kind of curious about this. Like, does he just have less army? Is that what's going on? 3,500. Lav actually has about the biggest army. He has the biggest army in the game right now. But I guess attacking into siege tanks with Thors is never good. This is why when you play mech, you have to kind of start in the right position. It's hard to get there later. All right, so here we go. Yeah, all these siege tanks, it's a mess.
Additional supply depots.
Oh, and then Lav sieged the siege tanks. That was worse. If he just attacked with them, it would have gone better. Okay.
Our allies are being attacked.
Anyway,
Our allies
I do
are
have
being attacked.
2 carriers out now. And I got some more. Oh, there's a 3rd carrier. Alright, so here we go. So at this point, I actually liked our position in the game because I knew that Blodge was a monster. I knew that the other team was weak over here. So like if we look at units, like Purple's on 37 probes because of Blodge's economic damage. And even these other Protosses aren't doing well. So like, I've got a much better economy than any of the 3 Protosses does, or do, and Blodge is at like 78 drones. So really, I'm pretty happy with the situation. And I got 3 carriers out and probably 3 more on the way.
Upgrade
Got +2. +2's on the way. So. And their army is not great against carriers. So that's like, yeah. So Truffle's dead, but it's because he was abandoned by his team, not his fault.
Our allies' base is under attack.
So I'm getting more carriers here. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I feel like stalkers are not that good against carriers, especially if they don't have armor upgrades. I'm not scared of siege tanks, or even cyclones aren't very good against carriers. So like here, even though his army value is probably bigger than mine, it's going pretty well. And then here's Blodge. For the same reason that my carriers are good, his mutas are pretty good.
Our allies' base is under
And we got Lav pumping his doors. So like if we look at the supplies, 170, 300, 370, if we add up them, but we're like 380, 410, 420. So we're 50 supply ahead.
allies are being attacked.
And we have like tier 3 tech going on, whereas they're on mostly tier 1.5 tech. So I feel pretty good about this.
Our allies' base is under attack.
Now where is Lav's? Okay, Lav is building up another Thor army. He's willing to let me die too, by the way. Lav is completely okay if I die. But I'm not okay if I die, so I'm trying to defend.
Our allies are being attacked.
I think Lav will maybe push when he's maxed.
Mineral field
I don't know.
depleted.
So Blodge has secured his side of the map. I'm back mining on 4 bases, or I guess, I mean, this is down to, this is basically half a base, but anyway, life is good. I have eight gases going, so life is good for my carriers. And at this point, I feel like I can kill them, and I expect that they're going to start, yeah, I'm going to go kill them now, right. And then there's Blodge. He's going to attack from the other direction. But I think at this point, Lav finally pushes. So, and Thor is going to be really good against Stalker Colossus. So Carrier Thor is just like so good against Stalker Colossus. And if they don't make the Colossus, the Zerglings are actually a problem. So Truffle, if you talk to LaVoz, you should tell him to put his Thors in high impact mode, because they're a lot better against the Colossus that way. They'll just nuke them right now. But yeah, they can't take any kind of decent trade here. So, and then Blodge is cleaning up the mech push over here. So at this point, I mean, the game's pretty over at this point. Yeah, and blue and red have figured it out. Somebody's still optimistic. I don't know who that is. Probably teal has got some optimism. And purple's been dead for so long. Okay, purple's gone. So the game ended not long after Truffle left. But life was, I think we were fine. But Truffle needs a little help. It would be good if Lav could help his allies. Alright, who's hanging in this game? Teal? Yeah, I mean, Teal's on like 5 bases. So I see why Teal's fighting it out, but it's actually hard for Terran to. Protoss can actually win these games kind of easier because if you have to quickly make production for like 3 or 4 people, Protoss basically creates their production super fast. So like if I want to make more stalkers, I make a gateway, and that takes like 40 something seconds, and then it's like 7 seconds to transform to warp gate, and then 4 seconds to warp in a stalker. So you're looking at like 67 for 150 minerals. I can get a stalker 67 seconds later. You compare that to like making a factory and then adding on a tech lab, and then you start making a unit, maybe a siege tank, and then that comes out. And I don't know all the build times because I don't play Terran as much, but it's like factory is probably 50 seconds plus 25 for a tech lab plus another 37 or something for the siege tank, and you're looking at over 100 seconds later to finally get your first unit out. So it takes twice as long for Terran to ramp up production as Protoss. So going from 1 player's production to 4 is really slow for Terran, but it's very fast for Protoss. So you can do like a gateway explosion and spend your allies' resources really fast as a Protoss player. And a lot of times Zerg can do it too, because so frequently Zerg doesn't even have to do an explosion, because the way Zerg's larva works is in the early game, your larva is only spending like 50 minerals per larva because you're making mostly drones and Zerglings, and those are both 50 minerals per larva. So you can actually only spend about 8 drones worth of income off of larva from 1 hatchery. Now, if you add in making constant queen production, maybe that's up to like 12. But then when you get to roaches, that 8 number turns into 16, and then you add in queens, and you're basically up to like almost 22. So you can spend all the minerals from 1 base going roach queen, and then any excess gas could turn into Ravager. So Roach Ravager Queen spends all the resources on a hatchery, and Hydralisks are kind of in the same boat, where you can spend all your resources. But when you get into like Ultralisks, so when you're making Ultralisks, each larva is 10 times the production that it was when it was Zerglings. It's like almost 5 times what it was when it was Roaches. And so the result is you actually end up with enough larva to spend all your income 2 or 3 times over. So if all your allies suddenly leave, it's not uncommon for a Zerg player to discover that they've already got plenty of larvae anyway, which is, this is where Blodge is. And part of this is because he's been maxed, so he hasn't been making stuff, but even if he was making stuff the whole time, you just end up gaining this excess larva. So Zergs can easily kind of spend their allies' resources. Protoss can do it pretty easily. Terran, really hard. So I think this guy's got no chance, but he is maxed. So I'm okay with Blodge donating his mutas only because it frees up supply to make other stuff. I wonder what Blodge is making. Speedlings and ultras, yeah. Speedlings are very good against doors. But, yeah. This teal guy's really optimistic. So this is the guy that you don't want in charge of your Antarctic expedition, because there's no way he's turning back, when you're completely out of food and supplies and you've just reached the coast of Antarctica. This is the guy who's like, a little hunger builds character. We're pushing for the pole without food. I don't think he would even like need a tent. He would just solo in there. So you don't want him in. Okay, finally he reads the writing that's been on the wall for the last 5 minutes. Anyway, GG.